when you get a job, right? So when you go looking for a job, they want to know your qualifications. When you're renting an apartment, they want to see a resume. They want to see your your how you pay, if you're consistent, if you're in debt, whatever. You're qualified. You got to be qualified for a job to get the job. Most of the time, sometimes they need people, but most jobs you have to be qualified, right? So I'm thinking about life now. How come the same things don't apply to life, like having a child? Although that's nature and things like that, those happen. You can't read. That's what God does. God put people together out of kids. And if you want to strip array and bring it to the raw form, then that's how it is. But we're talking about a civilized culture now. That's what I'm talking about. Civilized intelligence. When when you have like a civilized intelligence, how come there's no qualifications to have kids? How come there's no qualifications to just basic life? Like, you should be qualified to have certain things or be allowed to do certain things in my eyes. You could call that communism, you could call that whatever you want to call it. But I feel like there should be a certain amount of discipline in when you're letting people have kids, but you can't stop that. For me, when you're in a relationship with somebody, or you're trying to get in a relationship with somebody, they should be qualified to be with you, be it man, woman, whatever. If you have a certain amount of qualifications, why would you accept or give somebody that position or hire them to come into your space? You understand? Because both of y'all have to commit. So both of y'all have to hire each other. You could fire each other, but most of the times, that always happens. But what are the qualifications to life? That's what I'm thinking. Like, how come people are just allowed to do certain things that they want to do? And I'm talking about in your own space and country. I'm meeting some June plums. In your own country, in your own space, you're allowed to do certain things. But why? There should be qualifications. There should be rules set. But that would be crazy, because then people will say that's not life. But then, what's life if you're ruining lives? Because you're not qualified to take care of lives or take care of people or be responsible. Like I said, everything is a job. Everything is a discipline. And if you don't have it, you shouldn't get it. And a lot of people get it that don't have it. And in order for a culture, a place to move up in life, people have to be qualified to do things. They have to be trained. There's a lack of training from when they're young to be qualified. We don't train people for relationships. We don't train people how to nurture and take care of babies in schools. We don't train people how to manage their money and those type of things, so they aren't qualified for life. So they get fired, meaning they just mess up everywhere. And they just continue to live, because you have to live until you die. So they continue to find themselves in these problems. They can't pay their rent. They're struggling with money because they don't know how to manage. They just get up and go. And then they have a kid and they're not qualified to raise the kid. Everything comes with training. That's the solution. We have to train our kids from when they're young. Train them how to manage money. Train them how to work out, how to eat properly, how to take care of themselves, how to take care of other people, and also not to let an unqualified person come into that qualification that you have trained them to be. Make sense? That's the type of stuff we need to do now. It's too much mixing around, and too much people have access to people that they don't need to have access to. Not everybody's qualified to have a high value person in their lives. Everybody want this person and want that person because they want these people to come and take care of them, but they're not uplifting that person. They're just a little small speck of that person's life. But that's what they want. I want. But what do you have to give? Are you qualified to manage that person? To manage that person's lifestyle? No, you're not. A lot of people aren't qualified for these things, but they want these things. So that's the basic of life. Training. Sorry. as June plums. You have to be trained to be qualified for life. Okay? Start your training now, and also train your kids so that they can be prepared for what's coming. Okay? Carry on.